Hi, Nora. It's Kristen. I will be recording little videos just like this one each week in response to your creative submissions, your poems that you submit to give you feedback on those poems. Um, I noticed that you submitted two documents, the week one poems and then try two week one poems. So I'm only giving you feedback on the try two because I noticed that your questions are included in this document. So I hope that's right. Um, and um, yeah, I'm really excited that you're in this class. I'm really looking forward to working with you on your work. Um, you definitely seem to be a little bit more advanced than a traditional intro to poetry student, so I'm excited to work with you and to give you the feedback on these. So let's start with the "I Am From Mary Pfeiffer" poem. I thought that um, I thought that the details that you chose were super descriptive, really made the framework of this poem your own. In particular, I started to be very engaged with this line: from alcoholics, drug addicts, artists, writers, atheists, scientists, zealots, and dreamers. There's something about that list, that particular list, and the sort of shift from the negative and the addictions in your family to the creativity and the dreaming, right? That it shifts to, and also that juxtaposition is it really works for me. I think it's great. Um, all of these details are lovely. I love that the Austin, Texas, streets of Austin, Texas, rolling in laughing hills. I love that the hills are laughing. Um, I think, it's interesting to me that you chose the quotes. How could you possibly know that? What do you mean? It's just a feeling. These almost speak to me as like they could be included in the next prompt about your writing life, right? It seems to me that these are speaking specifically to your writing life. As a reader, that's how I'm interpreting those quotes being included. Um, so I think great, and I love this last line. They forget I am nothing but a namesake of light, trying to recover from the darkness within. I think that's a beautiful way. I think it's a beautiful spin off in the same way that Mary Pfeiffer spins off in another direction at the end of her work. I think it works really well. I think I answered that first question. Which line did you connect with easiest from this poem? And then what line distanced you from the writer? I don't think there's a particular line that made me feel distance from your voice. Um, I, I was a little bit, I guess, having read this writing prompt so many times, I was questioning, I am from the Veldmans and the Wilsons, followed by I am from Audrey and Kim in the third line. I was sort of wondering why those were two separate lines, and questioning, um, dedicating two lines of the poem to the names of folks in your family. But I wouldn't say it distanced me from you at all. Excuse me. I'm going to move on to the second poem. So, who I am as a writer. I am not freaked out by death. I'm not at all freaked out by death. I'm not terrified by death as a writer or as a human. Um, I don't necessarily find the inevitability of death stabilizing, but I also don't find it terrifying. I just see it as a continuation of the pattern of our lives, right? It's death is part of life. Um, and then do I consider the act of writing a form of stillness? I do think that writing in my life can create stillness, moments of stillness in my daily life. I also think that it can create such incredible action in terms of my internal life, my dream life, my creative juices. So It's an interesting question that I think I'll be sitting with for a few days. This idea of writing being stillness, and then what else is it? Um, so I think, I wonder about the choice to compare your writing to a decomposing human body. I do think that sorry, we got a little askew here. I do think that you describe it well enough, and you give it enough details that I'm willing to hang with it. I'm willing to hang with this metaphor. But I just keep questioning, like, well, is writing really a decomposing human body? Is Nora's writing a decomposing human body? Because I think there is such life in your writing. There is such color, even when you're writing about death. So I wonder about the metaphor in general. Um, I think I wonder about in terms of opportunities to revise this and opportunities to move forward with this poem. Um, I wonder what would happen if the first line spoke to stillness rather than the decomposing human body. I'm not saying that you absolutely have to do that. It's a suggestion and it's an idea for you to toy with, right? To play with. And so, what if the first line was, I am nothing but stillness. And then you went into the descriptions of death. You went into the descriptions of a decomposing human body. Because I think the central thesis of this poem is that your writing is about stillness and creating moments of stillness for yourself rather than the actual image of the decomposing human body. So that would be my suggestion. I wonder what you think of that. I look forward to seeing where you're going to go with these poems, and I look forward to reading your other poems that you submit later this week. Thanks so much, Nora.